A few common misconceptions that we hear, especially from smaller businesses, is that one, they're too small to be hacked. The attackers wouldn't know how to find them. It's simply not true. There are tools that are out there that enable a user to scan the entire internet in 20 to 30 minutes. And as they narrow down those scans, they continue to find open doors essentially into the network. Additionally, if you have a website, you likely have an email address that an attacker could reach out to you with a phishing email. Still, I believe it's 90% of all cyber attacks are still email based. So why try to find you through your ISP's connection when I can just find you through Google and then send you an email and see if I can elicit a response, whether that gets me money, gets me access to data, or even gets me access onto your own internal network. Another misconception that kind of dovetails with this is that people believe that they don't have anything of value for an attacker. And the three real basic things that an attacker wants from a victim is they want information that they could sell on the dark web, credit cards, social security numbers, anything that would have a value to another criminal. A lot of times your hacker is not the one that's selling these on the dark web. They are going in there and saying, I now have access to this database. Who wants to get into it? They're actually called initial access brokers. And these individuals, essentially, they're the locksmiths of the internet. They will gain access to something and then step back from the door and allow someone else who's paid good money to get in there. The items that they can sell are one component. The other part that they want to potentially do is they want to hold your data for ransom or hold your applications at risk by not being able to function. So we've all heard of ransomware. It is a prevalent attack method that is seen across businesses big and small. Type in ransomware and your local area into your search engine, and you will find story after story. The third thing that attackers often will want is a little more nuanced. Since most of your attackers are not coming in from the United States, they're using other machines as proxies. So I'm not going to attack a business using my own systems, using my own hardware that might be tied back to me. Instead, I'm going to compromise a random computer in Ohio, and I'm going to try to gain access into it, into a business using that machine. So in a way, you're erasing your footsteps, or you're making it just a lot harder for the authorities to attribute an attack to a particular group or a particular person. Some of the biggest challenges that businesses face in implementing effective cybersecurity measures is, first, they don't know where to go. They are inundated with buzzwords, advertising, sponsored ads, all of those things that make it very difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff. The other issues that come into place is that often service companies have high prices, especially affecting smaller businesses. Companies that have 9 or less employees often don't reach a minimum contract level that local service providers would have. We have managed to address this problem by simply saying we have no minimums. We have no set piece design for a client. What we have is a series of tools that we can leverage, the ability to help the client make risk-informed decisions. So if they feel like rolling the dice, they can take a minimal level of protection. But if they are very paranoid, and rightfully, they can take on as much protection as we feasibly can offer. By not having minimums, we can engage with a solo entrepreneurship all the way up to a company with 200 people. The scalability of our services, the delivery of our services, where we do not look at the big fish and little fish. We just look at everybody as a fish and everybody needs protecting. Many internal challenges with cybersecurity comes from user adoption. For an example, if a user is asked to take awareness training, they may be reluctant to sit there through a video, or they're reluctant to answer questions online. Those we try to address by making as much of the training and the experience personable. We don't want to feel that we're impacting your ability to work. We're just trying to protect your ability to work. Other areas that we get internal pressure is obviously from a budget standpoint. Companies look at this and say, if we already have this item, why do we need to invest further? The answer is you probably don't have multiple layers. Just like your car has both a seatbelt and an airbag, you want to look at multiple layers where you can and where it makes sense. And additionally, your clients that you actually work with, or even vendors, may simply require those things. And that's not even to take into consideration government regulations, insurance purposes, things like that. The internal struggles often come either from leadership in not wanting to make these changes for a variety of reasons, or down to the employee who now doesn't want to have to install an application to their phone or carry around a little piece of hardware to authenticate who they are. We try to just fix that by explaining the benefits, walking them through the experience, making sure that they're comfortable with doing it, and then supporting them going forward.